Tick-tock, the clock is running down to the end of the transfer window, and that means some clubs are locked in the panic room. Here are the Premier League clubs who need to make signings fast.
Number 1, Tottenham.
It was bad enough when they hadn't signed anyone last week, but now it's getting embarrassing. They still haven't bought a new right-back. In Kyle Walker-Peters, they may have gained a surname, but they've lost a first-class wide defender. And they still haven't bought a backup for Harry Kane. If he gets injured, they are in deep shit. Number 2, Chelsea. Without Diego Costa and Nemanja Matic, the champions suddenly lack real bite. Timothy Bakayoko's return should help, but Alvaro Morata just isn't tough enough to replace Costa's aggression up front. Find yourselves another bastard, Chelsea. And by the way, Danny fucking Drinkwater is not the answer. Number 3, Liverpool. Lightning in attack, shithouse at the back. The Reds will score an absolute boatload of goals this season, but if they don't sort out that defence, they'll keep dropping points to teams like Watford. Time to smuggle Virgil van Dijk out of Southampton on said boat before it's too late. If things are getting desperate for your team, tell us who's the player to solve those problems in the comments. Now, as a fan who follows their team around the country, there's nothing worse than your club being stripped of a star because their best player is throwing a strop. So whose egos are costing their clubs? Let's take a look. We can only begin with Diego Costa. When he's in the mood, he's a centre-back's ultimate nightmare. Just imagine the difference he would have made against Burnley. Another man skipping training is Ousmane Dembele. Dortmund may have run by him close in the Super Cup, but they look well short of their rivals in terms of quality. Dembele's absence is robbing Dortmund of one of their most dangerous attacking talents as the new season begins. But hey, it helped him get his way. Just like with Philippe and Coutinho. No one has broken more hearts than him this summer, waiting for Liverpool to release a statement saying they won't sell you for any price. And then just a couple of hours later, handing in a transfer request? Cold-blooded. No wonder Klopp can't look him in the eye. It's a level of arsehole behaviour that you just have to applaud. But while all these supposedly grown men are refusing to do their jobs, a man who's still in his teens is putting them all to shame. Kylian Mbappe posted this tweet the day after Monaco benched him for the full 90 minutes against Dijon as punishment for him wanting to leave for PSG. Mbappe may move on, but he'll make Monaco a fortune, and he's treating the club with respect. The boy's got class. So there's probably no set of fans that will find the Coutinho situation funnier than Everton supporters, especially as their own summer is going so well. Sure, they lost Lukaku, but they've been spraying money all over the place. From Pickford in goal through Keane, Klaassen, Rooney and now Sigurdsson, there's no denying the Toffees are going big. But there's only one question that matters. Is it enough to help them break the top 4? On the one hand, Pickford and Keane should help them tighten up their leaky defence, while Klaassen should set up chances that Rooney can use all his experience to put away, and in Sigurdsson they have a set-piece king. On the other hand, you could say Pickford got relegated with Sunderland, Keane's just a Man United reject, Rooney's an old man past his prime, and Sigurdsson couldn't hack it at Spurs. The big spending is a statement of intent for sure, but they've got a lot of goals to replace after Lukaku's departure, and they'll have to overtake at least 3 teams to make the Champions League. For my money, they'll need another summer like this one before they're ready for that. Are Everton top 4 candidates or expensive flops? Tell us what you think in the comments. And now it's time for Hit or Shit. There is no team in the world hotter than Real Madrid. They finished last season by winning La Liga and the Champions League, and have started the new campaign like a freight train. They were all over Man United in the European Super Cup, and they steamroller Barca in the Spanish edition. This is simply the best Real have looked in years, and they're hitting peak form without even getting involved in the transfer madness that's blown up this summer. In fact, they've made a massive profit, thanks to the sales of Morata, Danilo and James. Oh, and that guy Marco Asensio, you know, the one who banged in 2 absolute thunder bastards against Barca and already looks like a future World Player of the Year? He cost 4 million, and Barca turned him down. Forget the Galacticos. Real are winning the transfer market right now, along with everything else, and you better believe they are a hit. Their old rivals are definitely not. Seriously, Barca, what the fuck was that? Surely that smell of desperation would not go unnoticed by either Dortmund or Liverpool. The final price for Dembele and Coutinho could well be more than Barca got for Neymar. But in the meantime, the best they could do was Paulinho. A 29-year-old who failed during his only spell in a major European league and spent the last 2 years playing in China? Yeah, that will fix it. You can see from the responses to his signing that Barca fans aren't exactly thrilled. And as this tweet from Hody10 shows, Paulinho doesn't exactly have Barca DNA. Aiming high and then ending up with someone that neither they nor anyone else wanted? It's like watching a drunk try to pick up girls in a bar. Barca, I hate to say it, but you've lost your edge on and off the pitch, and you are shit. It's time for some trash talk now, where we run headfirst into the fecal explosion that is transfer gossip. This week it's our old friends Metro raining diarrhea down on us. They think they've found a cryptic clue that's the key to Thomas Lemar's future. A hint buried somewhere in these Instagram photos that's so subtle, nobody else has seen it. Cast-iron proof that he's staying at Monaco and not joining Arsenal. So what's convinced them to put their reputation on the line? The Frenchman posted 2 snaps of himself in training where he looks particularly happy. That's their proof. Bonjour, my name is Thomas Lemar and I... Joe, wine. And I will not smile again until I leave this place forever. Metro, this is desperate. 2 trash cans out of 5 for you. No, let's make it 3 because you forced me to do a terrible French accent. You have been trashed, and so have I. That's all we got time for, guys, but remember, if your team still needs to buy, who is it that they need? And are Everton going to make it to the Champions League or not? On that note, au revoir.